Hello all of you, I hope you all are doing good. Today we are going to do the revision of Accounting Standard 18, that is related party disclosure. As you can see that from the name of Accounting Standard, they talk about the disclosure. What they talk about the disclosure. Disclosure of what? The transaction that they have with a related party. The transaction that they have a related party. What does it mean that here? As you can see that there are so many things that we are going to discuss here. I will come to that. I'm just giving the background here. So whenever there is a transaction between two related party, we have to disclose it. Okay, what do you mean by related party? We will discuss it because two things is important in this accounting standard. What do you mean by related party and what should we disclose? Simple. Any transaction that we have with a related party, we have to disclose it. Okay, the first, what do you mean by related party? This is important. And what should we disclose that? Okay, these two things we have to discuss here in this accounting standard. I will discuss with you in detail. But where should we disclose it? In notes to account, the transaction that we have with a related party, we have to disclose in notes to account. Okay. So as you can see that on screen that now, I'm going to discuss with the introduction, why disclosure is necessary, related party, control. Now in related party, that is a control under that ownership, composition of board of directors, substantial interest. Then B point is significant influence. Related party covers holding subsidiary and fellow subsidiary, associates and joint venture, individuals having control of significant influence and their relatives, key management person and their relatives, enterprise on which point C or D, these points C or D can exercise significant influence, parties not related under AS18, exemption from related party disclosure. Okay, now I will discuss with all these points, but I've already given you the introduction that here we have to talk about the transaction between a related party. So it is important for us to understand what do you mean by related party and what should we disclose it. These two things are important. Okay, that we'll discuss. But you know why disclosure is necessary? Why think so that disclosure is necessary? You know that when there is a transaction between two related parties, it might be happen that one party is not charging the amount to the other party, or maybe not with the same terms and condition, or maybe they're charging the less amount. Okay. So they say it might happen that now. Okay. So it is important that now to understand what do you mean by related party and what should we disclose. So we have to disclose. I'm not saying doing a transaction with a related party, it's a crime. It's not a crime at all that. But we have to disclose it when we have a transaction with a related party, whether the transaction is happening at a normal fair value or the arm's length, at a market value or not. Because users of the financial statement should know it that here. When you're doing a transaction with a related party that here, they should know it that here. Okay. So that they can interpret the financial statement properly. So let's start it that way. Very simple accounting standard. Don't worry that advanced accounting subject itself is a very simple subject. Okay. So first point is the introduction that now. What it says that AS18 outline the disclosure requirement for related party, relationship and what? Transaction. Both we have to disclose what relationship that they have, husband and wife, example I'm giving, and what transaction that they have. Applies to the financial statement of reporting enterprise and consolidated financial statement by the holding company. Obviously, those who are preparing the financial statement, they have to disclose that whenever they have a transaction with a related party. And in fact, it is going to be applicable when the holding company prepare the consolidated financial statement as well. Okay. Now, why disclosure is necessary? With related party transaction may not be at arm's length. Arm's length means fair value. Okay. The transaction should be with the party at the market price, the price that we are charging to other as well. Okay. So they say we have to disclose that. Okay. Disclose that. Okay. Transaction terms and condition may differ. It might be happen when we are doing a transaction with a related party. The transaction is not at the same terms and condition that we offer to the other entities. Now the mere existence of related party relation can impact the business decision that it might be happen that now if suppose the company runs by Mr. A and his wife, she's an employee in the company and they are giving the heavy the salary to her that day. Okay. Or it might be happen that now because I want to purchase raw material from company B, the company B, suppose I am the MD managing director of one company. Okay. But I can influence the decision of my company. I will tell to purchase the raw material from that A Limited. Okay. From A Limited because my A Limited runs by my wife. It might be happen. So only because of that here, mere existence that here now of related party can impact the business decision. It might be happen. So it is important when we have a transaction with a related party, we have to disclose it. Now the main point start that here now. What do you mean by related party? What do you mean by related party? It is important. Okay. Now we'll discuss it. Very simple. Now understand. Parties are considered to be related if at any time, this is very important, what it says that if at any time, it does not mean that I have to be related party with someone only on the balance sheet date. No, 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 no. We are going to prepare a financial statement on 31st of March. Does that mean the related party relationship should exist only on 31st of March? No, no, no. They say at any time during the reporting period from 1st of April to 31st of March, if any time you're a related party, okay, so you will be called a related party for that particular period. Okay, but I will come to that point. But point to remember here, it does not mean that only on the balance sheet date we have to be related party, then only we have to disclose. No, 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 no. At any time that is. Okay. Now, what's one more thing that I will cover it later also. Let me explain here only that. What happens? Suppose there's a relationship here exists from year start on 1st of April. Okay. Let's say 1st of April 25 and year end on 31st of March 26. Now understand. Now here, the relationship here comes to an end here. Okay, for example, it comes to an end here on 30th of June 25 that year. So if relationship comes to end here on 30th of June 25, what is going to happen that now they are not related here. They are not related on 31st of March. It's okay. But they say at any time. So they were related during this period. So whatever transaction that they have during this period, it should be disclosed. You got the point? Okay, it's not necessary they have to be related on balance sheet date at any time. But at any time, suppose they are related only for the 3 months, no problem. We have to disclose the transaction for these 3 months. Got the point? Okay. In notes to account that we have a transaction to the related party because we are related parties, suppose here only for this period. So disclose the transaction for this period only. Okay. In notes to account here on the balance sheet that we are preparing on 31st of March 2026. Okay. Now what it says that one party, okay, when we call them a related party, when one party has the ability to control the other party. When I say I have the ability to control the other party, okay, or exercise a significant influence. So one party say I have the ability to control the other party, okay, and or have a significant influence. Now the question arises that here, first of all, I have the ability to control the other party or exercise a significant influence over the other party in making financial or what operating decision. Financial, for example, the issue of shares, redemption of shares like that, okay, or the from where we have to borrow the fund like that. Operating means decision making that here now about the operation of the company, like in case of a online classes, where should we give the Google Drive link or should we give the hard copy or soft copy of the book, like the operating decision of the organization. Okay. Now, the two term is important. What do you mean by control? So I will explain it in detail. What do you mean by control here? Okay. There are 3 ways in which a control can be achieved and we are going to call them a related party. And I will discuss also with you what do you mean by significant influence. So let's start with what do you mean by control. If someone has a control on other party, we are going to call them that we have a control on them, we are related party. Even if someone has significant influence on the other party, that we also call a related party. So we'll discuss how we can achieve the control. There are 3 ways. If any of them happen, we are going to call them that we have a control on them. Now understand this point. What does it mean that a control? Control can be achieved in what? 3 ways. When we can achieve the control, control can be achieved in 3 ways. First is the ownership. Directly or indirectly of more than half of the voting power of the enterprise. It means I am holding directly or indirectly more than 50% shares of the other company. They are related to me. Now they use the word directly. Let's take an example. A Limited hold in B Limited 60%. Are A and B Limited related? Yes, they hold more than 50%. Now B Limited hold 51% in C Limited. Are B Limited and C Limited are related party? The answer is yes, they are related party. Now the question arises whether here A Limited and C Limited are also related. The answer is yes, they are also related party. Right on your repeat this. They also related party, but not directly indirect. I tell you why. Because B is the subsidiary of A and C is the subsidiary of B. So A and B are all A and C are also related that way because A control the C Limited through their subsidiary indirectly. Okay. So A and C are also related party. So A and B are directly related. B and C are also directly related, and A and C are also related indirectly. Okay. Now what happened here? It's first point. Now the point number B, that control, how we can achieve that a control. First, we are holding more than 50% directly or indirectly. Okay. The second point is that control, they say, of the composition. I will come to what refer note this thing. I will come to that. They say control of the composition means the majority of board of directors of the company. It means I have a control on the board of directors. Majority of them, out of 7, 4 I have the control on them for them. I'm going to decide who is going to appoint, who is going to remove that. I have a control on the board of directors at it. Okay. Composition with majority of the board of directors member, I have a control on them. So what they say in the note, control of the composition of the board of directors is determined with reference to the authority of an enterprise to appoint or remove all or majority of director of another enterprise without the concurrence of any other person. It means majority of that I am to decide who is going to be director, when we have to appoint, when we have to remove them. So even though I am not holding more than 50%, still I have a control on them, on the board of directors. Okay, so that we call it as a control. They gave the question that, in the board of B Limited, there are 7 directors. How many directors on B Limited? 7 directors, which A Limited can appoint without the concurrence of anybody else. Are A Limited and B Limited are related party? Now understand this here. They say there are 7 directors that here now. In the board of B Limited, that there are 7 directors which A Limited can appoint without the concurrence of what anybody else that here now. So how many directors that they have? 7 directors. We can appoint them here. So all of them, they will, in fact, they are saying that now. Are A and B Limited related? Yes, they are. But one point you have to remember that if the director are appointed in their independent capacity, then there is no related party relationship. What do you mean by independent capacity that here now? Now, directors are appointed on the basis of their caliber, like they are the chartered accountant, they are the company secretary. In that, we don't call it a related party that, because they are appointing in that particular company on the basis of their what? The caliber there. Okay. Now, first, how we can achieve the control when we hold more than 50%. Okay, directly or indirectly. Second, if we have a control on the majority of the directors that here. Okay. Now, this is second. We can achieve the control. If we have a control, we are a related party. Okay. Now, the third one is that here. Substantial interest. What do you mean by substantial interest that they say here? They say, I will come to the note. Substantial interest in voting power in the power to direct by statute or by an agreement the financial operating policies of the enterprise. I have the substantial in voting and I have the power to direct. I can direct, by law have given me the authority to direct that, or agreement is there on the operational or the financial policies of the enterprise. Note. They say if an enterprise is considered to have substantial interest in another enterprise when its own either directly or indirectly 20% or more of the voting power in the other enterprise. They say we have a substantial interest that here now. I have the power to direct by law or by an agreement, but when if we hold directly or indirectly 20% or more of the voting power in the other enterprise, then we call them, we have a substantial interest that on them. Now understand this point. We talk about the control. How we can achieve the control? 3 ways we can achieve the control. I am holding 50% or more than that, directly or indirectly. I have a control on the majority of directors, okay? And I have a substantial interest. It means I have the voting power and I have the power. I have the voting power and I have the power to direct by law or agreement the financial or operating policies of the enterprise. So what is going to happen that here now? In these 3 situations, we are going to call them, any of them happen, we are going to call them, we have a control on them. But when we call them a related party does not mean that here only when we have a control. The related party relationship can also come into existence when we have a significant influence on other. So now the question arises, what do you mean by significant influence that here now? To understand this point, what do you mean by significant influence? They say significant participation in the financial or operating policies, decision making of an enterprise, but not control of those policies. We don't have a control on them. We only participate that in the financial or operating. We don't, the ultimate control we don't have. We are not going to decision maker, but we have a influence on them. Okay. Now, when I say that here, how we have an influence on them? How we have influence, not decision. It says that how I'm to interpret that here now. How I can say that I have influence on someone that I don't have a control on them. I'm not saying I have a complete control on them. No. I'm saying that I have an influence on them. When I have influence on them, I have a party. I do the participation in the operating or decision policies of enterprise. So they say, they assume that. Listen very carefully. I'm going to explain you that 2 examples here. They say generally we assume that if we hold more than 20%, we assume that if we hold more than 20%, then we have a significant influence on them. What I'm saying, if we hold more than 20%, I don't have a control here. Okay. I don't have the power to direct, do this, do that. No. I'm saying I participate, but I don't have an ultimate control on them. Okay. But when I say that I have an influence, they say if I hold more than 20%, okay, it generally presumes that I have significant influence on them. Okay. But they use the word if I hold more than 20, I hold 20% or more than that, I presume that I have a significant influence on them. And let me first cover these points only. But it is not necessary because we presume that. Certain time it might be happen, I hold 20% or more than that. Still, I don't have a significant influence on them. I'm saying I hold 20% or more than that. Still, I say I don't have a significant influence on them. It might be happen because I'm presuming that I hold 20% or more than that. It means I have a significant influence on them. But it is not necessary that I'm holding 20% or more. Still, it might be happen. I don't have. Let me give an example right now, which is mentioned here also. Now, SBI Bank gave a loan to Mr. Vijay Mallya. Now, please understand this point here. Okay. Now, SBI Bank, think from the SBI's point of view that is. Okay. Now, think from the SBI's point of view. SBI Bank gives a loan to Mr. Vijay Mallya, the owner of Kingfisher. Okay. Unfortunately, Kingfisher not able to repay the loan to the SBI Bank. Okay. SBI gave a loan to a Vijay Mallya. But Vijay Mallya or the Kingfisher not able to repay the loan to SBI. What is going to happen in that case here? SBI think that they are not liable. They are not liable. Sorry, they are not able to repay the loan. So they requested to Kingfisher do one thing. These loan converted into equity. I'm repeating. SBI. We all are SBI. SBI Bank. We are requesting to Mr. Vijay Mallya convert the debt, the loan that we have given to Vijay Mallya, convert the debt into equity. Why we want to convert the debt into equity? What is going to happen when I say convert the debt into equity that here now? I want to convert the debt into equity. The reason is that here now, because the SBI might sell the equity in the market to recover their amount. We cannot sell the debt in the market. Okay, we cannot sell the loan in the market. We can convert the equity. We can sell the equity in the market. So I requested to, we all are SBI Bank. We requested to whom we requested? Mr. Vijay Mallya to convert the debt that we have given to you into equity of your company so that we can sell the equity in the market. On the conversion of debt into equity, suppose on overall basis, we hold 22% equity of the company. But our intention, we all are SBI Bank. Our intention is never to participate in the policy or the decision making. We don't want to participate. We don't want to influence the company's decision. Our intention to recover the amount here. You got the point? So even though we are holding more than 20% in the equity of the company, still, we don't call it we have a significant influence, but because our intention is to recover the amount. So it might be happen we are holding more than 20%, still we don't have a significant influence on them. You got the point here? So it is generally presumed that we hold 20% or more than that, we have a significant influence on them. Okay, we have a significant influence on them. Okay. Now we have, but it might be happen that if we don't, it might be happen even we are holding more than 20%, certain time may not be a significant influence. Now, second part. Now I'm coming to the second part that here now is contra. I'm saying if I hold less than 20%, more than 20%, we presume significant influence. If 20% less than 20%, we generally presume that I'm using the word. We generally presume that we don't have a significant influence. I'm saying I am holding less than 20%, so we presume that we don't have a significant influence. But certain time it might be happen, even though we are holding less than 20%, still we have a significant influence on them. Let me give an example of that. Suppose we hold 18% shares of the company. You'll say, oh sir, you hold less than 20%, you don't have a significant influence. I agree. Let me complete the sentence here. We are the single largest shareholder of the company. It means we are the one who hold the maximum number of shares individually. We hold 18%. There are other shareholders who individually carry 1-2%, altogether they're 82%. But we are the one who hold maximum number of shares in the company. Okay. So obviously, I hold less than 20%, I hold 18%. But I am the one who holds the maximum number of shares individually. I have influence on them, on that company. So it might be happening, I am holding less than 20%, still I have significant influence. So normal rule is that if we hold more than 20%, if you hold 20% more than that, we have a significant influence. Exception unless otherwise, you say unless it can be demonstrated otherwise. Example of SBI and Vijay Mallya. So if I hold less than 20%, we don't have a significant influence unless it can be demonstrated otherwise. Example that here, example is of the single largest shareholder. Okay. Now I'm coming to 4 point. So they say related party covers, which is mentioned in accounting standard 18 that here now. These 5 points I'm going to discuss with you: holding subsidiary and fellow subsidiary, associates and joint venture, individual having control or significant influence on their relatives, key management person and their relatives, and enterprise on which point number C or D can exercise significant influence. Okay, don't worry, I will discuss you one by one each. Now they say, first, holding subsidiary and fellow subsidiary, enterprise that directly or indirectly through one or more intermediaries control and are controlled. It means we are controlled into someone. They are related party, and someone is controlling to us. So they are also related party to me. Okay, it is not that we have to control to someone then also related. No, it might be happen. If we are controlling to someone, we are related. If someone is controlling to us, then also they are related to me. Okay, I will take some example. Or under common control. These three are important terms: control, or control, or under common control with the reporting enterprise. This includes holding company, subsidiary company, and fellow subsidiary. So what it says that here now, first example: A hold 75% shares in B Limited, so directly control more than 50%. They are related. A hold 75% in B Limited. Okay, so A and B are related. B hold 60% shares in C Limited. So B and C related, but A and C are also related because indirectly through their subsidiary A control to C. So A and C are also related party. Now here A hold, okay, A hold 75% shares in B Limited. So A and B are related party. A hold 60% shares in C Limited. So A and C are also related party. Okay, A and C are also related party. Okay. Now, if I say that now, but B does not or C does not hold any shares in each. So what is going to happen now? B and C are under the common control of A. So A and B and C will also be a related party because B and C are under the common control. So it might be happen directly, indirectly, or under what? The common control. So they are also related party. Okay. Now here, I'm coming to point number B. What it says that here now, associate and joint venture. Associate and joint venture of the reporting enterprise and the investing party or venture, in respect of which the reporting enterprise is an associate or joint venture. Let me explain it through an example. They say co-venturer in a joint venture are not related to each other. For example, that here now, A has a joint venture that here, and B, these are the co-venturer. So Mr. A or A, whatever A limited company, and this joint venture, they are related party. So these JV, A has a joint venture, this joint venture, okay. So A and these joint venture are related party. These B, they are the A and B are the co-venturer. B and these joint venture are related party. But these co-venturer are not related party, remember. So these co-venturer are not, A and B are related party, the answer is no. Now, co-associate are also not related. Co-associate are also not related. Let's take an example. If we hold more than 20%, we call them the associate that is. Okay, A hold 30% in B. Are A and B Limited related? Yes. A hold 25% in C Limited. Are A and C are related party? Yes. Because A, this associate. If you hold more than 20, we call them associate. They are related party. But whether B and C are related, they are co-associate. The co-venturer are also not related party. Co-associates are also not related party. So here A, okay, here B and C are not related party, they are co-associates. Okay, so co-associate are also not related party, and these co-venture are also not related party. Now third point is very important. They say associate of an associate is not a related party. What does that mean that here? The associate of my associate, okay, suppose A, let's take an example right now. They say here now A hold 30% shares in B. So A and B are related because it holds more than 20%. So A and B are related. B hold 25% in C. So B and C are also related. But the associate of my associate, we all are A. So we all are A. Okay, so we all are it. So A hold 30%. So in B. So we all are it. So B is our associate, we are related party. The associate of B is C. So they are related, but V means A and C are not related party. To make it simple, I'm just giving an example that just for the purpose of understanding the concept. The friend of your girlfriend is not your friend. I'm repeating. The friend of your girlfriend is not your friend. You will never forget this point now. The friend of your girlfriend is not your friend. The associate of B is not your associate. Okay. So A and B are related. B and C are also related. But the associate of my associate is B. The associate of my associate is not manufacturer. A and C are not related party. Remember this point. Okay. Now we'll come to this third point that here. Individual that here now, owing that here now, directly or indirectly an interest, in the voting power of the reporting enterprise that gives them control or significant influence over the enterprise and the relative of any such individual. Now please understand this one. First of all, they say what do you mean by relative of the any individual? Okay, let's take an example that here now. If I write it down that here now, individual that. Okay, individual that here now is the control. There is a company that here. Let's say example that here now. Reliance Petroleum. Okay, what say individual? Who is individual here that here now? Individual, let's say Mr. Mukesh Ambani. So Mr. Mukesh Ambani directly or indirectly interest in the voting power of an enterprise that gives them either this individual has a control on them or this individual has a significant influence on them. If this individual has a control on Reliance Petroleum or significant influence on this Reliance Petroleum, so they are related party. Means Mr. Mukesh Ambani and this Reliance Petroleum, they are the related party. Okay. And the relatives also means the relatives of what? This individual. The relatives of what here? This individual. So what do you mean by the relative that here? If I say what do you mean by relative? So it's spouse. It means the wife of Mukesh Ambani. Okay. So that's the spouse. Okay. Now son, daughter. Okay. Let me make it simple that here. The first that here now is they say the son, daughter, brother, sister, father and mother. So let's take it. Father and mother, brother and sister. Okay, father and mother, correct. Okay, brother and sister, daughter and son and their spouse. Okay, this is the definition. So what it says, understand, father and mother, brother and sister, spouse and kids. Okay, son and daughter. They are related parties out here. Okay, now understand this, daughter-in-law, son-in-law not covers here. Okay, now if they say this individual has a significant influence control on any entity, so they are related, and the relative of this individual, they are also related to this. It means all those relative, I guess, let's say the mother, father, okay, brother, sister, son, daughter, wife, okay, they are also related. All these, they are also related to these entity. So individual is related to that entity because that individual is a control significantly, and all the definition of relative whoever cover, they are also related to these enterprise that here. Okay, so these are related party. So then they have a transition even with these individual like the Mukesh Ambani, all their relatives by that enterprise, that will be considered as a related party transition. Okay. Now here in point number D, they say key management person. Same like the point number C, but in point number D, they say the key management person. Who is key? It means that the industry, any entity, for example, Reliance Petroleum. Somebody is a key management. I will come to what do we mean by key management person. Okay. So they are related, like the managing director. They are related parties. The directors and the key man, the Reliance Petroleum example, the director of the Reliance Petroleum. They are related. And the relatives of the director, if they have a transaction with Reliance Petroleum, they are also related party. Okay, so they say here the key management person and the relatives that here now. Same like here, they are talking the key management person and the relatives that it's like the C point is only. Okay, note individual with the authority and the responsibility of planning, directing, and the controlling the activities of the reporting enterprise are considered the key management person like the director. But they specifically say the AS 18 non-executive directors are not classified as a key management person. So non-executive directors are not qualified as a key management person. Okay, so these key management personnel and their relatives, key management person related to that enterprise. Suppose Mr. A is the MD of the any company, so that company and Mr. A are related, and relatives of the Mr. A are also related to that company. Okay, now I'm coming to the last point here, point number E. They says that here now, enterprise over which any person which is described, okay, enterprise over which any person which is described in point number C or D that here is able to exercise what here? The significant influence. This includes the enterprise owned by director or major shareholder of the reporting enterprise and their and enterprise that have a member of a key manager in common with the reporting enterprise. Let me give an example that. What say the enterprise over which any person which is described in C or D? Who prescribe in C and D? A person who has a control on significance on any company, okay, like the Mukesh Ambani and their relatives. Who prescribe in point number D? Key management person and their relatives. Okay, so remember this point numbers who prescribe in point number C and D. Okay, So enterprise over which any person would describe in point number C or D is able to exercise significant influence. Okay. This includes enterprise owned by the directors or major shareholders of the reporting enterprise, and an enterprise that have a member of a key management in common with the reporting enterprise. Now understand. Suppose there is a company called A Limited. Okay. Now Mr. Abhishek Upmanyu is the MD of the A Limited. So whether A Limited and Abhishek Upmanyu are related party? Yes, because he's the MD, key management person. They're talking the point number D. Okay, you remember the key management person? So A Limited and this Abhishek Upmanyu, they are related party because Abhishek Upmanyu is the MD of the A Limited. They are related. Now this Abhishek Upmanyu hold the B Limited, suppose company over which Abhishek Upmanyu has a control or significant influence. So Abhishek Upmanyu has a control on B Limited or significant influence that is. So are Abhishek Upmanyu and the B Limited are related party? Yes. But the question is whether A Limited and B Limited are related party. The answer is yes, because what happened, Abhishek, this MD can influence the decision. Suppose I'm the MD of, or you are the MD of any company. Okay. So if you hold, suppose you are the MD of A Limited and you hold 100% shares in some, you run a company that year. So what is going to happen? You can influence the decision that you will tell, okay, listen, A Limited, I'm the MD of the company, purchase the raw material from B Limited only because I control that company or I have significant influence or my relative has significant influence on them. So what I will try, I will to make the profit for my relative or you got the point, or I have a significant control on them that here now. Okay. Or I am, so what is going to happen in that case here? They say if any transaction happen between the company in which I am MD, okay, or any other company in which I have a control of the significant influence. So if they are my relative that they have a significant influence that, so what is going to happen? Because I want to make a profit for that company, maybe for myself or for my relative that here, they are also related parties. So here the transaction between A and B has to be considered as a related party transaction. Done. So we know that what to mean by control, what to mean by significant, and they have given us the related party cover the 5 different areas. We have covered those: holding subsidiary, fellow subsidiary, associate, and the joint venture, individual having a control or significant influence over and their relatives, key managers and their relative, and enterprise which point C or D can exercise significant influence. Okay. Now the few more points that here now. What it says that here now, parties are not related party as per the accounting standard 18. AS 18 says that there are certain parties which are not a related party. Okay. So in AS 18, the following are not deemed related party. They are not deemed to be a related party. When directorship relation, two companies with a common director are not related unless the director is able to affect the policy of both the company in their mutually. Just a one person is the common director in two companies. That does not mean these two companies are also the related party. If I am the director of A Limited and B Limited, that does not mean that here, okay, that they are the A and B are also the related, the party that, okay. So I'm just a director. There is a group of people, they are the director in two companies. That does not mean that those two companies are director only because of the common directors that here, okay. Unless and until those directors have the ability to influence the decision that okay, affect the policies of both the company in their mutual dealing that here, okay, then they are related party. Otherwise, only because of common directorship in two companies, that does not mean those two companies are related party. Second is economic dependence. An entity transaction a significant volume of business with a single customer, supplier, franchisor, distributor, or general agent solely due to economic dependence. So it does not mean I have one type of customer. For example, we or the supplier. Let's take we are in Mumbai, or in suppose let's take an example. I'm in Mumbai. I import the raw material only from the China. Just give an example that is. When I say I only import the goods only from the raw material from the China, that does not mean I have only one supplier. So I'm dependent on them because that raw material only available in China. So that does not mean we are related party. If I have a major customer, I supply, we are in suppose running a company in Chennai, we supply the goods mainly to the government that is. So that does not mean we are related party that is because I have only specific type of customer, okay, or distributor or agent solely due to the economic dependence because raw material available in China, that's why I'm importing from there. Okay. Now this is normal dealing. Entities listed below in their normal dealing with an enterprise are not deemed a related party solely. Normal dealing that we have. For example, if we took a provider of finance, we took a loan from the bank. That does not mean me and bank, or we took a loan from anyone. That does not mean just we have taken a loan. It means that we are a related party. Trade unions, public utilities that, and government department, their agency including the government sponsored. So what? When we have a transaction with any government and department or public utilities like a trade unions that here, or we have taken a loan, these are the normal transactions. Don't presume that they are the related party to me. But what it says that here now, there's an exemption from the related party. Exemption, even though we are now understand that what is the difference in point number 5 and point number 6. We will get confused there. In point number 5, they are not related party. In point number 6, they are related, but no need to disclose. Please understand. In point number 5, the point that I have mentioned, they are not related party in point number 5. In point number 6, they are related, but no need to give the disclosure. You got the point? So who are related, but no need to give the disclosure about them? First, they say conflict with confidentiality duties. Let me explain you. They say related party disclosure requirement under age 16 don't apply if the disclosing such information conflict with the reporting enterprise duties specifically required by law, regulator, or similar competent authority. What does it mean that here now? What is going to happen that here now? They say if law prohibits me not to disclose that here. Okay. Now, example, bank mandated to keep their customer transaction confidential are exempt from the disclosing such information as per this standard. Now, suppose if anyone who is related to a bank, okay, I'm not talking normal transaction that we have taken a loan from the bank. Just we have taken, we are not related. But if any related party exists, for example, A Limited has a 100% shareholding in B Limited, in a B bank. Okay, B Limited is a bank, suppose that is. So A Limited that here holds 100% shares in some bank. They are related party. And A Limited also has a bank account in that B Limited. So, should we disclose the bank balance of the A Limited that they have in a B Limited? Even though A and B are related parties, still we cannot disclose the transaction of the bank balance of the A Limited, the account that they have in a B Limited in this bank. The reason is that because law prohibits to disclose the balance of your customer, transaction of your customer. So, certain time, even though they are related, law prohibited not to do that. Okay, so we cannot do that. In case of a consolidated financial statement, so individually we understand holding company, when they prepare their financial statement, they will disclose all the transactions that they have with the subsidiary company related party. Subsidiary company, when they prepare the individual financial statement, they are to disclose all the transactions that they have with the holding company because they are related. But holding company and subsidiary company that here now, when the holding company, when they prepare the consolidated financial statement, that is they treat it as a single entity. So in that case, the transaction, you also know that here when we prepare a consolidated financial statement, we have to eliminate the transaction between the holding company and the subsidiary company there. At the same time, in notes to account also, we don't disclose the transaction that happens between the holding company and subsidiary company because when we prepare, I'm talking the consolidated financial statement. Because when we prepare consolidated financial statement, we treated them as a single entity. So no need to disclose them. Okay, even though they are related, we are not disclosing. State control enterprise. First of all, you have to understand what means state control enterprise. It means an enterprise which is under the control of a government, state government, central government. They say that under the central government or any other government. So state control means a company which is under the control of the government. So the financial statement of a state control enterprise are not required to disclose related party relationship with other state control entity or transaction with them. Means, now if I say that, there are two companies, example I am giving you. Indian Oil. Suppose, example I am giving. Indian Oil, Bharat Petroleum. They are state control. State control means control, suppose example, controlling by the government. So when these two companies have a transaction, should they disclose it? No. Okay. This is even though they are related that here, even though they are related that, still they are not going to disclose that. That's it. So in what is the difference between point number 5 and 6? Point number 5 talks about they are not at all related. In point number 6, they are related, but no need to disclose that. Okay. Now last point is the disclosure. What should we disclose? We discussed from so many, we already discussed what do we mean by related party. But what should we disclose? Understand. The relationship of the related party may exist because of what? Control. Okay. Or it might be because of what? Significant influence. If you have a control, any of those three criteria, if we have a control, disclosure name and relationship is required even if there is no transaction. If I have a subsidiary company, if even though I don't have any transaction during the E, still I have to disclose because I have a control on it. Still I have to disclose the relationship, name, that is the B Limited, suppose my subsidiary, and the relationship of holding in subsidiary. Name and relationship both we have to disclose if we have a control, even though there is no transaction. If there is transaction, obviously we disclose the transaction. But if I have a significant influence, I have to disclose only if there are transactions. Understand the difference here. If I have a control, I have to disclose the name and relationship even though I don't have a transaction. If there's a transaction, obviously transaction should also be disclosed. But if I have a significant influence that here now, We have to disclose only if we have a transaction. Okay. Now, what we have to disclose, they say, if related party transaction occurred during the existence of such relationship, the reporting enterprise must disclose that here. Okay. The name of the transacting the related party, name, okay, the description of the relationship, that, okay, holding and subsidiary example, description of the nature of the transaction, purchase, sale, the volume of the transaction, either amount or proportion, how much, for example, 20% of the sales or 20% of purchase, what is the volume of the transaction, amount wise or proportion wise of the total. Okay. Any other element which you necessary for understanding of the financial statement, if you think is any other statement which is necessary that here for the purpose of understanding that a financial statement. For example, you say that here now you first this year only you have a control on them. Okay. And you want to disclose to the entity that this year we have a control on them. Okay. So any other thing you think it is important, disclose them. Or you say so much of purchase from the related party during the COVID-19 that year we were dependent on them only because the other supplier were not able to supply, like that. If you think it is important, you can disclose that. That's why we have purchased from them. Okay. The amount of outstanding, how much is the receivable or payable from them, or if you have created any provision for doubtful debt for that related party, we have to mention. Amount written off or written back, it means any provision that we have created, we have cancelled them. Okay, that also we have to disclose. But they say only transaction within the period of related party relationship need to be disclosed. I told you earlier also that at the starting of the AS, I told you that now. Suppose relationship exists from 1st of April 2026 to 30th of June. So transaction that we happen during these period only we have to disclose. Later on we are not related, still we have a transaction of 25 lakhs, that no need to disclose because here the relationship was not existed there. Here only the related party relationship. For example, I have a subsidiary company, I sold the shares here, so the relationship does not exist after this, so still we have a transaction. These need not to be disclosed, these have to be disclosed because at that time relationship was existed. Okay, this is all about accounting standard 18. Simple, so simple. Okay, now what we'll do that here, come to these questions that here now. Okay, question number 55, come to that. So they say identify the related party in the following cases as per accounting standard 18. Now they want to say that here now A holds that here. Okay, A holds 51% of B limited. So are A and B limited related? Yes. B holds 51% of C limited. So B hold of O limited. So B and O are also related. Now Z hold 49% of O, means this in O limited, B holds 51%, the remaining holds, it should be 49%. Okay, 40, yes, for this 49. Okay, 49% hold by the Z limited. So we have to give the from A individually from each of them. First is the A limited. So whether A and B are related, yes. Whether A and O are also related, yes, because indirectly they control to the O through the B. Okay, nothing from the B's point of view. Whether A is related, yes, because it is B is controlled by A, so A and B are related. Nothing from the B's point of view. Whether B or O are also related, yes, but B and Z are not related party. Okay, now they say here from the O's point of view, whether A is related, yes, because ultimate holding company. Whether B is related to O, yes. Whether the Z is related, yes, because Z is hold more than 20%. They have a significance. So O and Z are also related. Okay, nothing from the Z point of view. Only O is related to them. Okay, now 56. They say consider a scenario wherein A has 60% voting right in B. A has a 60% voting right in B. So whether A and B are related, yes. Now A hold 22% voting right in C. So A hold 22% voting right in C. So whether A and C are also related, yes. Now B limited has 30% voting right in C. B limited has a 30% voting right in C. Whether B and C are also related, yes, significant influence that you know. Now they say whether C is to be treated under AS 18 as per the related party, whether the C limit is to be treated under AS as a related party of A. Now they're asking whether the C and A are also the related party that here. Okay, now what is C? A, C and A that here. Okay, whether C is to be treated as under AS 18 as a related party to A. Yes, because they should ask to the B. Just give me a minute that here now. A holds 60%, A limited has 22%, A and C are also related, and B limited has 30%. Yes, okay. Now understand that here now. Whether this is C and A is related, the answer is yes, because they hold indirect. I mean to say they here the 22% that they hold, and here how much they hold, the 30% that here. Okay, so here A is related to C, but they're thinking on the C's point of view that is. So you will see no, the A has not a control on C. But they have a control indirectly, 22% directly, and through this subsidiary they have a control of 30. Correct. The 22 plus 30, that is 52%. It is more than 50. So A has a control on C. You understand what it says that now? It says yes, in relation to A limited, the reporting enterprise, C is limited the related party under A18. Correct. This is because A is indirectly controlled the C. In this case, A limited together with subsidiary control the more than half of the voting power of C limited. Okay, so they have a control on them. So from this C, A is also a related party. Now they say here, consider a scenario wherein X limited hold 28% voting right in C limited and hence Y limited is an associate. Yes. So X hold 22%, 28% in Y. So X hold 28% in Y. So whether X and Y are related? Yes. Associate. Correct. Now Y limited hold 32% voting right in Z. So Y and Z are related? Yes. Because Y hold more than 20%. So for Y, Z is related. For X, Y is related. Okay. But whether the X and Z are related, the answer is no. I give an example. Associate of an associate is not related. The friend of your girlfriend is not your friend. Okay. So in the above case, but this is what they're in the above case, Y limit is an associate of X. And okay, this is what they're explaining that here now. So they say the question is whether the Z limited is a related party of the X. The answer is no, because associate of or your associate is not a related party. Now they say 58. Consider the following organization structure. P limited holds 80% shares in Q limited. Q limited holds 60% shares in R limited and 80% shares in S limited. Then R limited holds 65% shares in X limited, and here these S limited holds that is 70% shares in Y limited. They ask you, given the above structure, identify the related party relationship if R limited is the reporting enterprise. They ask you from the R point of view. Okay, one by one. Whether R, we all are R, whether the R and P limited are related party? Yes, because it is ultimate holding company. Okay. Okay. Now whether R and Q are related party? Yes, it's their holding company. Whether R and S are related party? Yes, because they are under the common control. You got the point that here now? Oh, they are under the common control. Related party. R and S also related party. Okay. Whether R and X are related party? Yes, because they hold more than 50%. They have a control. Okay. Whether R and Y are also related party? Yes, because Y is a subsidiary of the S limited that here, and R and S limited are related parties. So that's why R and Y are also related party. Okay. From the R point of view, all are the related party. Now they say 59. Mr. Robert is the managing director of a P limited. Okay. Andy, spouse of Robert, receive a remuneration of ₹5 lakh from P Limited for the service she rendered to P Limited for the period from 1st of April 21 to 30th of June 21. Now, and Andy left the service of P Limited on 1st of July 21. Consider 31st March as per the year end date of for P Limited. Now, understand that here. Mr. Robert is the MD of a company called the P Limited, and it means Mr. Robert is a key management person. So, whether the Robert and P are related party? Yes, because a key management person. Now, Mrs. Andy, she is a spouse of Mr. Robert. Okay. Now, she works for the company for 3 months, where from April to June, May, June, 3 months, correct. And I think she got a salary of rupees how much here? The 5 lakh. Okay. Now, and then she left the job. Should they disclose it? Is it a related party transaction? Yes. They say key management person and their relatives. So when the company is a transaction with the relatives of a key management person, also that they have to be disclosed. So this should be disclosed. Simple. Okay. Do you say no, not at the balance sheet? She's not a related party. No, at any time. Okay. Now, the same question is question number 16, only the name changes there. Similar to question number 59. So that's you have to cover. Okay. So this is all about the accounting standard 18, that is related party disclosure. I am getting messages from Mr. Sir, AS 19, AS 20, those are the complete days. Those are not a complete days. Soon I am going to upload the revision lecture on all the accounting standard. Next one will be on the accounting standard 19. That is for today, and I request to all of you, if you want to say anything, just drop a message in comment section. I will give you a reply there. That is for today. Take care all of you. Bye-bye.